Okay guys, so here's what happens. The length of a rectangle less the length of a rectangle is 8 less than twice its width. Okay. Now, length of a rectangle is the same thing as 2 times its width. Is it minus 8 or plus 8? Minus 8. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm a visual learner. I'll draw my rectangle anyway. Now, the length is 2w minus 8, and the width is w. Would you agree with that? Now, it's very easy to make that. Now, when you're making equations, you generally only want one letter to work with, usually. Okay, or 2 letters, but never 3. Okay? If the area of the rectangle, area, keyword, is 120, area equals 120. How do you get the area of a rectangle, guys? Length by width. What is my length by my width? W, or 2w minus 8 multiplied by w. Multiply it out and what happens? 2w squared minus 8w. Now look what happens now. I can then replace area with what formula? What formula can I replace area with? So guys, just to re-specify, we multiplied length by width and we then got this formula here. This means this formula here is the formula for area. It tells us that the area is 120. So whatever value of w we use, the answer has to be 120. Therefore, we bring the 120 over the other side. Now we have options. We can do the minus b formula, where we can say a equals 2, b equals minus 8, c equals minus 120. We could try the reference number, or we could divide both sides by 2 and attempt a simpler reference number. Divide both sides by 2, I think, is a good option. What happens when you divide both sides by 2? W squared minus 4w minus 60 equals 0. Two numbers that when you multiply, minus 60 being the reference number, two numbers when you multiply them they give you 60, but yet when you add them they give you minus 4. I'm going for minus 10 plus 6. Alright? W minus 10, W plus 6 equals 0, W equals 10, W equals minus 6. Which answer is not acceptable? Why? You can't be minus width. I'm minus 2 meters wide. That door is minus 3 meters high. That makes no sense. So therefore, it has to be the positive answer. W equals 10. Okay, now, have we actually answered the question? Is the other one. Okay, so I found out the width. That's grand. So, what is the length of the diagonal? Leaving it your answer in third form. Now that's complicated. Okay, so what they actually wanted me to do in the first place, I actually jumped the gun there, didn't I? Okay. So what happens here, guys, is they actually want me to find the diagonal. Yeah. Now, but it has to be an area of 120. Do you got that? So therefore, W still is 10. So W is 10. What's 2W minus 8 then? 2 times 10 minus 8 gives me the 12, what I was looking for. Now, anybody suggest a way to get the length of the diagonal? Pythagoras' theorem, guys. We're on a winner there, okay? Call it L. L squared equals 10 squared plus 12 squared. L squared equals 244. Square root 244. And what you get? It says give it in third form. Third form is 2 root 61. Are we all good with that? Centimeters. Now, let's try another one. A garden measuring 12 meters by 60 meters is to have a pedestrian pathway. installed all around it, increasing the total area to 285 meters squared. What will be the width of that pathway? Okay. Anybody come up with any suggestions there? Okay. What I would do is something like this. I would the path. I'll just extend this diagram. Really set it home here. Okay. The path is x in this direction and x in that direction. Would you agree with that? How long is it in total then? No, it's 12 multiplied by x. Uh, we'll make this easier for 1 minute. Imagine I extended it by 3 either side. What would the new length be? 12 plus 3 plus the other 3, which would give me 18. If I increased both sides by 3, wouldn't that turn it into 18 meters wide? Did I add or multiply? I added. So therefore, just because it says x doesn't mean you're going to do anything differently. I have to do 12 plus x plus another, and that is 12 plus 2x. Okay? So this part here is 12 plus 2x. Now, what about this 16 meters here? Sorry? Yep, 16 plus 2x. So, my use for this big diagram is now gone. It's 16 plus 2x and 12 plus 2x, okay? It's perfect, guys. Now, it says it increases the total area to 285. Does that mean the full thing is 285? How do I know that? What in the language tells me that the full thing is 285? Increases the total area. The total area is 285. What is the width of the pathway? The width of the pathway is defined as x. If I find x, I find the answer. Does that make sense? Now, what is another keyword I'm going to use to solve this? Area. Area of what type of object? Area of rectangle is? Anybody? Length by width, which is 16 plus 2x multiplied by 12 plus 2x. Multiply out. What's 12 by 16? I think it's 192 or something like that. Yeah. 32x plus 24x plus 4x squared. What does that equal? What does the area equal? There you go. 4x squared on its own. 32 plus 24. And then 192. Take away 285. And you get minus 93. This is I won't be able to solve that I won't be able to solve that by factorizing, because I can't divide by 2, can I? Because the last one is odd. I haven't got an option here. So if that was me in this exam, I'd have to go to the minus b formula, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. A equals 4, b equals 56, c equals minus 93, minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, minus b is minus 56. Minus 56 plus or minus square root b squared 56 squared minus 4 times minus 93 all over 2 times a, 2 times 4, right? Then go to the calculator. Square root 56 squared minus 4 bracket 4 bracket 93 minus 93. Okay, and syntax error. Now, why is it? Oh, 68 came out as a nice round number, didn't it? Because that came out as a whole number, it means we could have factorized it, but I just don't think, I think we'll spend longer trying to factorize it than it's worth. Which answer is valid? The negative answer or the positive answer? Your answer has to be positive. So if you use minus 56 minus 68 all over 8, that's definitely going to be a negative answer, isn't it? So therefore we don't even need to work it out. However, the other one, minus 56 plus 68 all over 8, 12 over 8, which is 1.5 meters. So your width of your path is it 1.5 meters or 1.5 centimeters? 1.5 meters. Everybody alright with that? Higgins. 132 chocolates are equally divided among people at a party, a number of people at a party. If the number of chocolates that each receives is one more than the number of people, find how many people are at the party. Okay. Now, if we knew the numbers, I actually know the answer is 11 and 12 already, but that's just by pure luck, more than anything. 11 multiplied by 12 is 11 multiplied by 12 is, yeah. So guys, let's think of it in a really logical sense, okay? Let's think of this really easily. The number of chocolates in total is equal to what? The number of chocolates equals the number of people multiplied by number of chocolates per person. Would you agree with that? If I had 20 chocolates and I divvied them out amongst 5 people, each person would get 4. 20 equals 5 multiplied by 4. That's that equation explained out, isn't it? Now, pick a letter. It can be either one. Find how many people were at the party. Let number of people be equal to what? What will the number of people be equal to? Call it P. Yeah, we can use any letter you want. Now, number of people is P. P gets multiplied by what? Number of chocolates per person. And what does that say? You could use C, but it gives you more information. If you use C, you now have 2 letters in one equation, so you can't work it out. So you need to work out another way of presenting that. Is there anything in the language that will help me with that? There's got to be something in the language. If the number of chocolates that each person receives is one more than the number of people, P plus 1, there we go. And now there's only one letter for one equation, right? Multiply out. P squared plus P equals 132. Move the 132 over the other side. P squared plus P minus 132. Am I allowed to do this, by the way? Am I allowed to just do this? Rub that out and put it over this side here. Yeah. Equality doesn't matter which side's on the left and which side's on the right. They're equal to each other. Now, reference number. It's minus 132. 2 numbers. 11 and 12. So, P, it's plus 1 in the middle, so what does that mean? Plus 11 or plus 12? Huh? Plus 12 minus 11. Good man. Then finish it off. P plus 12 equals 0. Is P able to be minus 12? Can it be negative? Absolutely not. P minus 11 equals 0. P equals 11. 11 people. And 12 chocolates per person. What you think of them thus far? Difficult. A rectangular piece of cardboard is 2 centimeters longer than its width. So I'm going to draw a rectangle, and it's 2 centimeters longer than it is wide. So let W be the width. What should be the length then? That'd be 2 times longer as opposed to 2 longer. W plus 2. You're adding on an extra 2 as opposed to doubling the size, okay? Now, from each of its corners, a square piece of 2 centimeters is cut out. So that's interesting. Okay, so what we have here is yeah, it's actually one there, one there, one here, and one here. Now it says the square is of what length again? 2, isn't it? Yeah. Now, if I always simplify it down to an easier question. If this was 18 centimeters long, and I cut off squares of 2, what happens to the length? 18 minus 2 minus another 2, and it turns into 14. So what should happen here? And take away another 2 after that. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm just going to do a really like formal. W plus 2, take away a 2, take away another 2. And what you guys said is true. It's going to be W minus 2. W minus 2 is from here to here. What about the other side? W minus 4 gets me from here to here. Now, the flaps are then turned up to form an open box which has a volume of 70. Open box, guys, okay? So when you're talking about a box here, okay, what we're talking about is it gets used up, and what we have here, it's going to be really fancy about this. Here we go, this is our box, okay? So, we turn it up to make a box. Can anybody tell me what is the height of the box? We cut this part out, and if I fold it here, I fold it up on top of itself. So how high is what's the height of the box going to be? The height of the box, anybody? 2. What's the length of the box then? And what's the width of the box? Oh, there we go. It's pretty good. Okay. Now, what are we going to do next? Oh. What happens here, guys, is we got to underline a keyword. Any keywords here for our formula? We're looking for a keyword for our formula. 70 is a key number, but not a keyword. Volume. What's the volume of a box? Length multiplied by width multiplied by height. And the answer is 70. So what's the length again? The width, the height, 2. Now guys, please remember, take 2 of them, multiply them by each other, and then multiply whatever you get by the 2. That makes sense? So, W, I'm just going to do it reasonably quickly. That's what you get when you multiply both of them out, okay? I'm expecting you to take care of that. Now, then multiply everything by 2. 2w squared minus 12w plus 16. Bring it over to 70. What happens after this then? (2w squared minus 12w) and then here. Anything that will divide into all of them. 2w squared minus 6w minus 27. Minus 27 is your reference number. You're talking about a minus 9 and a plus 3. So, w minus 9, w plus 3 equals 0. W minus 9 equals 0. W equals 9. Or w plus 3 equals 0. And then w equals minus 3. Everybody alright with that? Okay. Reread the question, guys. It says calculate the dimensions of the cardboard. What does dimensions mean again? Remember, W is 9. So what does dimensions mean? Dimensions means calculate the width, the length, and the height. The width is 9 minus 2. What's 9 minus 2? 7. The height, or sorry, the length, or W minus 4 is 9 minus 4, which is 5. So you can do it like this. And which one's the bigger number? The length is the longer one. So the length is the longer one, okay? So length is 7, width is 5, height is 2. Before you leave any question, make sure you read the language, target the answer specifically for that question. Okay. This one here. A ball is thrown vertically upwards. The height h in meters of the ball t seconds after it is thrown is given by h equals 20t minus 5t squared. Find the 2 times when the height of the ball is 15 meters. Any suggestions on how to do that? Here's a formula. H is the height, and that's the equation. Take a wild guess. Replace h with 15. It tells you that the height is 15. When the height is 15, the equation will automatically adjust the t value to tell you what time this happens at. Bring the 5t squared and 20t to the other side. 5t squared minus 20t plus equals 0. Divide everything by 5. Factorize. The two answers are t equals 1 and t equals 3. That was very easy, wasn't it? The height is 15. Replace h with 15. Alright, last one of the day for me. Okay, so what have I done now? 13, and I'm about to do 16. So I'll just highlight this here. Okay. Now, these ones here. Okay, 2 consecutive positive odd numbers. 2 consecutive positive odd numbers. What's a positive odd number? Just give me an example. 3 and 5. Are they consecutive? They're next in line to each other. And the word consecutive means in a line. So the odd numbers would be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, yeah? Consecutive would mean 7 and 9 follow each other. 9 and 11 follow each other, yeah? What's always the gap between them? A gap of 2, isn't it? So if I use x, what do I need to use as the next number? X plus 2, because the next odd number is guaranteed to be 2 bigger. I'm specifying that they're both odd and they're both positive. Okay? When 2 consecutive odd numbers are squared and the results are added, square them and add them together. Does that make sense? With the language? Square them and add the results together, and it should equal what? Equal what, guys? No, when I add them together, what does it equal? Over here, 290. And what's the lesson of this full exercise? You're always going to make a quadratic equation. It's always going to end up as a quadratic equation somehow. So x squared for that one, yeah? This is x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2. When you multiply that out, you're going to get x squared plus 4x plus 4. I'm trusting you can take care of that. That one by that one, that one by that one, that one by that one. Okay? Bring it over to 290. What happens next? Yeah. Yeah. Divide everything by 2. Yeah. 143. It's an interesting one. 143. Now, there's a nice button here. Sometimes it might come in handy. 143. Press Shift Factorize. 11 by 13. You've never seen that button before. If I have 63 as an example, Shift Fact. What's 3 squared? 9 by 7. It breaks it up into its prime numbers. But 143 is such an odd number that I just decided to take a gamble on that. And I go, 13 will divide into it. Okay? So 13 and 11. There's a gap of 2. X plus 13, x minus 11 equals 0. X equals minus 13. Is that allowed? Why? Can't be minus. So x equals 11. If x is 11, what's the number that comes after it? 13. So the two consecutive numbers are 11 and 13. Okay, guys.